are the stories making news at this hour. I'm Suzanne Lemonnier. Relentless rain in the south suburbs is causing major flooding. School was canceled in Fort Heights. Here's Mike Puccinelli with that story.
Last night, I just had water in front of the house, but now I have a television set, a box spring, and a mattress down the street.
All sorts of things are floating in, huh?
Yes, it is.
Sharita Coleman-Wilson is talking about life on Embassy Lane after the street became inundated with water from melting snow, falling rain, and a swollen creek. You feel like you're almost kind of marooned here?
Yeah, sort of. Yeah, because you don't want to take your car through this because you know it might get damaged, so. Yeah, and I drive a car.
Regent Lane is likely just as bad. That's where Ricardo Bradford says he hasn't seen flooding like this in 20 years. But people further down his street have it even worse.
They're trapped.
Emergency crews had to rescue several elderly residents from homes that had essentially become islands.
It was dragging the boats down and pulling older folks out.
It isn't safe for children to walk through water like this, so classes at 4 Fort Heights schools were canceled today. Still, Coleman-Wilson is remaining positive.
We have a lakefront view.
Driving can, of course, be dangerous. That's why village residents are being urged to stay inside if possible. In Fort Heights, Mike Puccinelli, CBS 2 News.
In Marseilles, southwest of Chicago, the flooding situation is so serious, officials have issued a mandatory evacuation order. It affects people south of the I&M Canal and east of Main Street. The city also is asking for volunteers to help with sandbagging at the sewage treatment plant. And finally, meteorologist Megan Glaros has your forecast.
There was a lot of snow on the ground that had to melt somewhere. We got tons of rain in too short a time. And then add to that the fact that the ground was still pretty frozen, so it was running off more than it would typically do, as opposed to being absorbed by the ground and the plants, things of that nature. So we're looking at weather alerts still in effect. We still have some flood warnings out here in eastern parts of Indiana, but the rest of our area coming in essentially with the river flood warning still. The rest of the regular ponding on the roadways and things of that nature should begin to dissipate through the day as the rain is now over, but the river flooding sometimes can go for days after the fact. Here's the rain now. If you were to head down to Indianapolis or Cincinnati or Columbus today, you'd run smack dab into that rain that we had yesterday, but now we have a nice dry setup, albeit quite a bit colder.